And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Monday edition on the Joshua Forest podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope everyone is doing well and having a good Monday. I'm having a good Monday, and I'm sure Sam is having a good Monday.
Having a pretty good Sunday.
Considering the fact he has to work later, but it could get better, it could get worse, we don't know. So I am introducing Mr. Sam Mansfield. He is a very, very lovely guy, and he is an amazing guitarist for his own band.
Thank you.
From the band of Slamchester in Manchester, as people call it, Slamchester. Don't know why, so we could talk about that a bit later. Sam, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing quite good.
Good. Are you keeping yourself busy with this whole situation by staying at home most of the time, or what's been going on with you?
Thankfully, these past couple of weeks I've been working, so that's been keeping me busy.
Good.
I'm getting quite a lot of shifts in, doing some long stuff, so That's all right. I'm in today until midnight, which will be fun.
Oh, fantastic.
But other than that, just working, chatting to friends when I can, writing new music. That's about it.
Yeah, as you just mentioned, you're writing new music. You guys had an EP out not long ago. Pretty good EP, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Like it. And considering that D314 is a really good EP. If people have not heard it before, definitely go and listen to D314. It's the latest EP, and definitely suggest it. By any means, if you like brutal death metal, if you like a bit of slamming death metal in it, it's definitely got that influence. So what's been going on with the band stuff lately? Because I know there was a tour announcement that you're going to play in the States, which I am very pleased to hear.
Yes.
That. I'm sure that's going to be a fantastic opportunity for you guys to play in the States. And I'm sure you guys have been quiet for a little bit, considering there hasn't been any shows happening this year.
Yeah, it's been... we had a bit of a change around with the lineup. Barney stepped out, and we brought our good friend Kyle in on vocals.
Yeah.
Who I feel really bad for at the moment, because he joined the band and we had quite a few shows lined up and everything was going to go fantastically. We played in Manchester with Crepitation after the induction, and the other band is escaping me. Oh, it was Coprocephalic as well. That was it. It was a really amazing show, and it was good to see Retro Bar up and running again with slam shows in Manchester. That was fantastic. And again, a big thanks to Joe Mortimer for putting us on that one.
Shout out to Joe.
That was absolutely a fantastic show to be at. But then not long after is when the lockdown came into effect. So Kyle got to play one show with us, and then we just kind of went into hiding.
Yeah, that's not
which was a bit irritating.
Yes.
But the EP release was picked up quite well, which I was really happy about. We got a bit of an explosion off that, which was good.
Yeah. That was good. I'm sure that was your expectation. You wanted something big out of it coming through. Like the EP went on the Slam Worldwide YouTube account, and that was a good thing to actually be recognised. I mean, in a way, Slam Worldwide is actually a good platform when it comes to YouTube platform to actually get a bit more recognition from the community. Yeah. I know I'm not a big fan of it, but it's definitely a good thing to have a big platform. If you're like a small band, you want a bit of a little step up, that definitely gives you the recognition. They even do like big bands and that as well, like Valinemia as well. They do like latest materials. If any band has any new materials coming out, they would definitely take the opportunity. And I'm sure they're making a good chunk of profit out of it sometimes, unless they're doing it for free, then I'll be quite surprised.
Yeah, no, like Slam Worldwide, it's good. I kind of agree with you. It's not my, I love it as a platform to get music out on. I'm always discovering new stuff on there. I've noticed over the past couple of years, they've gone more to the deathcore side of things.
Yeah.
Not that that's necessarily a bad thing.
I've
because,
noticed,
I've noticed a lot of people have started listening to us because they've gone on Slam Worldwide and discovered us through that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it? I had someone message us ages ago because Dickie Allen from Infant Annihilator, he was doing one of his Twitch streams and he was flicking through Slam Worldwide and he like started listening to the EP and was like,
Nice.
"Yo, this is cool." He's like, "I want to follow these guys on Instagram," and then I was like
Nice.
checking through my Instagram posts and he actually did. So I was like,
Fucking hell, that's really cool, man.
I'm like, I mean. I love Infant Annihilator. I'll admit it. They're not everyone's cup of tea. I think they're really sick.
They are really good.
But that was actually pretty cool to see stuff like that. So like it's getting out there, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. As we just both agreed, it's pretty much a good platform for any position, for any band that does need that recognition. And same thing with this podcast is to definitely get this community the opportunity, the platform for underground scenery that bands need the recognition. So it's kind of like almost like a Slam worldwide thing, but it's a podcast worldwide platform. Speak to musicians one-to-one or like 2-in-1, or in the future when the live shows come back, I'm trying to do live podcast sessions as well, where to sit down with like 1 or 2 members and just do it something different than just relying on Zoom. But Zoom has been very helpful. You know, it definitely has that recording feature. Like, it's really handy. It really helps me a little bit and takes the time away from trying to edit the software or whatever, like most people do nowadays. But it's nothing against any podcasts or interviewees or anything like that. Like, whatever's easy for me is easier for me, you know, and whatever's easy for other people, they do it their way, and I respect that. Hopefully they respect what I do. But yeah, it's a really, really good thing that Dickie actually liked it, and I was quite surprised when you just said that, because there is a thing where not many metalheads actually like specific type of genres. Like, some people won't like Infinite Annihilator because they don't play live music or anything like that. They just get internet band. Which is a little bit of an abysmal talk, because you could be doing like your own internet band, and whether people like it or not, it just really depends on the music style, I suppose. I'm sure in the future, as they did say, they would like to do live shows and really get out of the internet band element, but it depends on what happens, I guess. With not,
I mean, I know, like, you know. I mean, I'd definitely like to see that myself. Whether it could physically happen drum wise, I don't know, but I think it would be cool if they actually did.
Absolutely. I think the only way it's going to work is they only do like big shows and not like a tours or anything like that, because I don't think they would do it, in my opinion. But they could prove me wrong. They could prove everybody wrong. You know, that's the only way it's going to work. As you just mentioned, that you had some shows going through this year, but unfortunately it's been cancelled. But as we just mentioned earlier, that you got a opportunity to go to America next year.
Yes.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
how do you feel about
that? I'm still trying to process it. I feel like I was really excited about it, and then it all kind of dawned on me of like, wow, this is going to be expensive.
Yes.
I mean, that's not stopping us by any stretch. Like, we're still going to go and do it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I get to see some friends that I've not met yet.
Yes, absolutely.
And stuff. We get to go hang out with Clint, who is also in a band that's playing that with me.
Nice.
Our 2-man porno grind band, Spaff.
Very
because
nice.
You know what 2 boys don't like talking about cum all day.
Well, as you're a woman, you probably won't like it, that's for sure. But there's some people out there that do like to talk about it for hours, I guess. Hidden fantasies, I say. Yeah, so the show or the tour is only for like a week, is it?
It's just the one show. It's just Mammoth Fest in Houston. It was actually really weird how it came about, because the promoter messaged Clint asking if Spaff wanted to play the show.
Yeah.
So he messaged me being like, yo, do you want to do this? And then I was a little bit cheeky and tried to get Clint and be like, well, if he's going to get me out there, would it really hurt for him to fly Kyle out as well? But after a little bit of negotiating, yeah, we're now on the back of it.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit weird to think that the band that I spend the most time on got on a show in America because of the band that I started as a joke.
So it was just, as you just said, it was just a joke in the beginning, and you didn't think it was going to be serious, or you actually wanted to make it as a serious band when you started?
I mean, like, Spaff as a whole was just a bit of a joke. I got an 8-string guitar, and it just kind of hang on. I have no idea what the hell just went on here.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, Zoom just decided to close itself down, but that was...
Oh, lovely. Okay. Well, I still can see you, so it's not a problem.
I can still see you, so everything's good.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, no. Yeah, Spaff just kind of started out as a joke. I managed to get hold of an 8-string guitar.
Nice.
And I was talking to Desmond from Anal Floss's boss, and the idea was I was just going to write some stupid porno grind. So I wrote a 3-track EP.
Yeah.
I think I sent it to a porno grind label from like somewhere in Central Europe and just went, hey, do you guys like this? Would you want to put it out? So they did. Clint really liked it, and I asked him to do vocals. And then we've done a couple of splits since then. And yeah, just got the chance now to do something live, so why not?
That's very good, very good. But what about your main band? How did that actually come into play? Was it just something like, oh, maybe I'll start doing the band and see how that goes?
I mean, with CM, it was more... I'd started it with a couple of friends. It was there was me, there was Ryan Roberts, who is now playing drums in Dawn of Animosity and Cranial Discharge, because we've known each other since high school.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that tainted him with getting into like metal in general a bit more seriously, and then I took him to his first like slam gig and that. So sorry about that, Ryan. But it was me and him at first going, yeah, let's start a band. And we went through like so many different band names for like ages. It started off with both of us wanting to do a deathcore band. Which,
really?
Yeah, it was just a couple of friends jamming out. So we're just playing a lot of like Suicide Silence covers and seeing where it went from there. But then I obviously like discovered brutal death metal and slam, and I just kind of was like, well, this is more heavy. Like, this is just ignorant.
Yeah.
I want to do this. And then after a couple of member changes and just a little bit of kind of talk amongst ourselves, I think we all just kind of went away. And because I was programming the drums anyway.
Yeah.
But I was programming them so fast that Ryan couldn't keep up with them.
Very nice.
So I think we just kind of agreed that he had Dawn of Animosity, I had this, and we just kind of went from there and just backing tracked it.
Cool.
But it's been pretty good, seeing how it's progressed since. Yeah,
because it was basically like a small band, and now it's getting somewhere. You know, now you're doing a show in the States.
Yeah.
Have you done Europe yet?
No, all of our shows have been either Manchester. We played London once. Although I really want to go back. That was one of the best crowds we've ever had.
Where was that one?
That was the last Death to Cancer.
Oh yeah, of course it was. How could I forget that?
Yeah.
How could I forget?
We got added to that.
That's when I started. That's when I knew you guys. It was that last Death to Cancer show.
Yeah.
That was literally the last one, and that was a shame. But you guys would have come to London at the Underworld with that charity show, but obviously that was postponed.
Yeah.
Then you would have done Manchester maybe twice, I think, for the rest of the year. I think before anything got cancelled.
To be fair, there's been that many gigs that have come up and disappeared. I'm starting to lose count.
I understand.
But that sounds about right, to be fair.
Yeah. It was a little bit, because I remember there was a charity show that was supposed to happen, but that definitely was cancelled, and that was with Arcania as a headliner. I think
Yeah.
you guys were playing on that same lineup on that same day. Then there was supposed to be a Manchester show with Crepitation again. That was supposed to be June, perhaps. But yeah, I know that there was supposed to be a few shows supposed to happen this year, because obviously it's cancelled.
Yeah.
How do you feel that? I'm sure it's a bit frustrating, but how do you feel the fact that shows are cancelled and you guys can't really do anything because you have an EP coming? You just had an EP out. You definitely want to hit it on the road and actually release the EP like in a physical car piece and actually get some shows going with the live music. I'm sure that must have been a bit frustrating.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I was frustrated to start with, and now I'm just like, when this all comes back, and we can start playing shows, we're just gonna jump right into it. We're gonna have some fun. We've already got all the instrumentals ready for the promo for the full length that we're in the process of writing.
Okay.
So it's like we released something, we went into lockdown, and when we come back out, we're gonna release something else.
That's cool.
Like, I really don't want to overshadow D314 because it's a really, I think it's a good EP. I might be a little bit biased. I think it's okay. I feel like all the songs kind of stand out from each other because they all sound a little different. They don't all just kind of go like, all right, here's a slam song.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's another slam song, and then here's another slam song. Each song has its own little.
It has a little variety of how it's been done, Like one track has a bit of a slammy, and the rest, like one of them didn't really have much of it, but has a bit more vocals or just like blast beats into it. But yeah, I get what you're saying though. It has a mixture, and that's always a good thing. It's always a good thing to actually have a bit of mixture when it comes to like album related or EP related. To actually do new songs, you want to have a bit of mixture and not the same mediocre same thing for the rest of the 9 tracks, for example, in that one album. You want to split it a little bit, So I can
that's kind of what we're going for.
I can see where you're coming from for sure. So is this new album supposed to be coming out maybe next year, perhaps, if everything does happen back to normal next year?
Well, I'm hoping it'll be out next year. It should be out next year. When we were writing it, the idea was we'll just write the entire album, get everything sorted for it, and then we'll just announce that we're dropping it like 10 days before it gets like released. Like
10 days before you do a show, for example, and then people get hyped.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to buy this album and in the show and that. Yeah.
And that's kind of how we were going to do it. We were going to make sure that everything gets like done behind the scenes so that when it does drop, we've got physicals here, we'll have like t-shirts, this, that, and the other. But then we kind of thought, well, let's just put a promo out instead, because it's going to take us a while to finish the album, and we just kind of want to put something out for people to enjoy. And give them a taste of what we're going to be doing.
Do you not like the idea of, get people hyped up in the upcoming months to be like, I know the dates, and I can be ready for it, and then I can do pre-orders instead of just like do it behind the scenes and then just say, look, in 10 days, this is coming out. You got 10 days to buy some stuff, or got 10 days to save money, and then you can buy stuff on the shows. Because for me, I like to do a bit of pre-ordering sometimes, because it can be like, I've got money already donated or purchased from that couple of months ago. So I could be ready to actually wait for it and actually be ready for it, But where I can see you're coming from is some bands actually want to make sure they do a couple of days reminder to say this is happening at a specific time of the days and whatever. And it's like, get your shit ready in 10 days or whatever days, because we're going to do this. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing pre-orders. I feel like a lot of people kind of know that. We've done so many pre-orders on like merch these past couple of months, and which have done absolutely fantastically. I was really shocked by how well they sold initially, which was good. And we still have quite a lot of those t-shirts to get through, and we've still got a load of shorts that we have to get through. But I understand, like, at the moment, a lot of people aren't buying merch because, you know, if they're not in work and whatnot. I know that, like, money's obviously an issue at the moment, so we're not in any hurry to get, like, shifting it. And hopefully when shows become a thing, you know, like, I always used to hate walking past when we started out, when we just had, like, that one t-shirt. But then you'd walk past like a load of other bands who have like 6 t-shirts out, some shorts, all the CDs and that, and I'm just like, I want to offer you all of that, but physically we can't right now.
No, I kind of hate stuff like that as well, because you can see there's different types of designs, different types of prices, and sometimes it's like, is it really necessary? Where I'd rather just buy the one specific shirt like I did from you guys and just say that's more than enough for me to actually purchase. Where if I wanted to do support the band more often, is do digital purchases, actually buy the CDs and the albums or the finals or whatever, to actually give them a bit more benefit. Because clothing merchandise for me is like, if you've got one band merch or whatever, it's more than enough. So if I got like extra additional stuff, I'd rather just get rid of it and actually give it to someone else who actually haven't got it. So in a way, it's like being, in a way, generous. But I don't know how you feel about it. Are you like a big collector as well, or just one shirt? That's it?
I definitely have an issue when it comes to buying merch. I have absolutely no room in my wardrobe for any of the stuff that I've got. I've resorted to hanging spare hoodies on my radiator. There's that many of them. Like, the only reason I know that they fit in my wardrobe is because I've got like 6 in the wash.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've got over 200 t-shirts.
That's ridiculous.
And I mean, I've got a load of merch on the way at the moment. I've got a cranium t-shirt coming, some guttural slug joggers.
Yeah.
What else have I got? I've got a Nidorous t-shirt coming with their logo. They've just dropped like the sickest 3-track EP I've ever heard. I cannot express how that is like the best release EP wise this year, but it was so good. And I wanted to buy the EP, like the actual physical EP as well, but they sold out in like 3 hours after it went live.
That's crazy.
It's the guitarist and drummer from Epicardiectomy, and then Malika from Abnormality.
Yeah. I've got the Bandcamp EP. I'm surprised that's fucking gone. Wow.
It sold out like so fast with t-shirts.
It's pure raw. That's what it is. It's the production. It's really good. It's really tight. And it's stuff like that. That's what we like. It's the raw, tight, brutal death metal type of style. Where, in a way, I'm not stating any bands that don't do it. Is they try and make it their own production, very crisp and clean and whatever, but it's not the same. And we have that variety of idea of what we actually like and stuff like that. It's fucking spot on. I definitely like it. So if they do like t-shirts and stuff, I definitely would get one, but I'm sure that's going to be sold out as well.
See, I managed to get one of the t-shirts a couple days ago because they've still got like all the sizes left, as far as I know. Like, they are selling pretty fast from what I've heard, but I managed to get one in my size.
Nice.
Which was lucky.
Yeah.
But I'm just a sucker for anything that's that raw. And stuff like the last couple of singles that Defeated Sanity have released.
Yeah, that's been raw.
Absolutely blown my mind. Like that band is probably like the best modern brutal death metal band
the best, and they haven't stopped. Like, Leon has actually did the guitars and the drums. Like, it's ridiculous how one musician could do that, you know.
He's a machine on drums, on guitar, but like I think I heard that they were saying that like every track, like drum wise, guitar wise, bass, vocals, everything was done in like one take. per track, or something like that. Like, whether that's true, I don't know.
If
But
that's
I
true,
remember hearing that somewhere.
honestly, if that's true, I'd be fucking surprised. Like, really surprised that if he
Because
is
I know that,
yeah,
like, as a drummer, he doesn't like punching in and punching out. Like, if he messes something up, like, he's got to go back to the start and
yeah,
just do the whole thing instead of,
of
like,
course,
joining in at a random point, which I can fully respect. I have to do the exact same thing every time I do it.
mm,
I don't like just kind of copy and pasting things and doing that
yeah,
as much as I will for demos.
mm,
Like, if I'm doing the actual take, it has to be one full take.
it has to, it has to. Like, if you make a mistake, no, fuck it. Maybe just go back to square one again.
Mm.
I definitely like how that works. So, like, fuck, if actually that is legitimately true. Honestly, I'm surprised how they not got a Grammy yet or anything like that. But no, that honestly, Defeating Sanity are fucking pinnacle when it comes to like bro death metal scenery. They are the pioneer, the top of brutal band that you ever want to see. Want to see them live, listen to every single time because they are that tight and they do a great job actually keep up the standards that they have with each album. They want to try and step up every time.
Oh yeah.
It's almost the same thing like Cranium. They try and do different things as well. It's great. They have to step up. Like all these bands that they do, Brutal Death Metal, they want to make sure they step up every album they do or EPs they do as well. So it's fucking ridiculous how Brutal Death Metal has come in a long way from that it was a small fish and now it's gone to a big fish in a small pond type of philosophy. That everyone's trying to fit in, but it's really, really good that we are actually listening to the same music and actually realize that we like this type of variety of music and how the production should be and how things should be played. But yeah, how did you become a guitarist in the first place? That's really the main question.
I don't know. My parents raised me on like a lot of metal from an early age.
Yeah.
Like both my parents were big Maiden fans, Metallica, Priest. I mean, my dad's a big like hard rock and punk fan.
Yeah.
So I got more into like the punk side of things because I'm not a fan of like guitar solos or really techie guitar parts.
Yeah.
Like it's just for some reason like I appreciate it if it's done well.
Yeah.
But I feel like the only people that really appreciate really techie guitar parts is the person playing it and maybe like other people that play that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like going from listening to like the Sex Pistols, which is all like riff based.
Yeah.
I've kind of grown up with that, like a good riff is better than a really good solo.
Yeah, sure.
Like a really good solo is like the cherry on the riff cake. Like you've got to have the cake there to put the cherry on top.
Yeah, I understand.
It's that kind of thing. So it started off with a lot of that. My dad plays bass.
Cool.
So I was always hearing him play that and whatnot. So after a while, I was just like, you know what? I want to get a guitar. And I started playing for a bit. And then as a kid with no attention span, I just never practiced. I never did anything.
Yeah.
So I called it quits. But then for some reason, I just kept picking my guitar up and trying to learn songs.
Trying to, yeah.
Like I learned enough in my 2 years of, like the first 2 years of lessons to kind of go, well, I kind of know these chords. So now I'm going to try and learn some stuff just by listening to it.
Sure.
And then I went back to lessons for like the best part of 10 years.
Nice. Sometimes it just takes time. It does take time to actually learn a specific type of like how to play chords or power riffs or anything. But I was not so impatient. Like I was not so patient with actually trying to play. I actually called quits and never picked up another guitar ever since, really. So it's
Yeah,
kind
no, there's a lot of
good.
dedication to it.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of dedication is a bit of time consuming as well. But I'd rather just be like doing what I'm doing right now, just trying to interact with people as much as possible and just trying to understand where how they become a musician or what they actually like to do in their spare times. The understanding of the underground scenery, that is really important. Like, I know the music industry is really crippling, but in some way the big media pioneers, the mainstream media does not give attention to the underground scenery or just anything in general, you know. Like, the music industry has been missing for so many years that it's lost magic by the fact that the government's not really giving them any money. Like, I saw an article that Joe posted yesterday, how I would have loved the UK government to actually put some money towards the music industry, but it would not happen. And the fact that someone mentioned about it today, about Germany's side of the government, which was Lucas actually, it's pretty much anywhere that you go to, any country, their government's not going to actually contribute any money towards the music industry. It's more of making sure that the top pioneer companies are in a good position to actually give them for the voting status. Like, I don't know if you are very heavy with politics, but there was some stuff relating about how there were certain companies in America that do support Trump, and actually the voting system actually works over there compared to other places. So there's stuff like Domino's or, I don't know, Papa John's or anything like that. They're more favor of voting Trump than going against Trump, or don't want to vote, for example. But they give Trump, their companies, money just to support the benefits of the election run. And it's kind of fucking depressing.
I remember seeing something about that. I think I can't tell if they still back him because he used to do like adverts for them back in the day or something like that, and they know that he's a rich man.
Yeah.
So he could, like, I guarantee he could do some damage if they decided not to support him.
I mean, it would be a massive damage, and I know America's in the worst position, which is really unfortunate that this is 2020 and things have gone completely shit. Not just America, but like everywhere in the world, that racism is still like a big issue, and it's really sad that racism is still like one of the major issues in this country or any country. And there was something on the in London's article about the left-wing protests or the right-wing protesters. Actually, we're still doing the Nazi salute, but they were actually going against Winston Churchill. They've been hiding in the box, which I don't understand why they were doing the Nazi salutes when they are normally supporting the Nazis or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense what's going on with this country or any country.
I mean, there's just been so much going on that I feel like I've just tuned out from it all.
Yeah.
Like it's that whole ignorance is bliss adage. Like I'm not like trying to say that I'm like not trying to keep my ear in everything and figure out like what's going on and stuff like that, but I don't know, after a while it just gets a bit too much.
It does,
I think, you know, like when all the news shows is negative, this, that, and the other, and then the occasional, oh, this child got pulled out of a well by a dog, kind of, oh, look at this amazing story once every couple of weeks. Like, I don't know, it's all just so negative. I've just stopped thinking about that and just started focusing on me.
Yeah,
I guess.
Of course, yeah. No, you have to. I do agree. It's a shame that the media is more of twisting the knife, of twisting the words, and actually try and make people a bit more panicked. And how I know for a fact, and people don't actually believe me, but the media is actually more of trying to control the people's mind and their emotions on, this is about fear, this is about manipulation, this is about power control, and this is always something like that. So I don't pay attention to the media much, really. So it's kind of like, if people do support the media and they do support the politics and whatever, that's completely their choice, and I'm not going to go against the lecture. But it makes me wonder how numb they are when they don't actually want to step back and actually look at the reality and do a bit of research, like some people do, and actually think it's too much. Maybe I should step away and not pay attention to the media like you said you've been doing, and actually just focus on yourself, focus on your body, focus on your mind, focus on music like you do as well. Just focus on the good things instead of just focusing on the media. Like people say to me, maybe you should stay tuned to the news about the corona thing, which in a way I'm not going to deny, I do. I see how much death rate that happens day by day, but I don't pay attention to anything else. If anything at work says, for example, which it does get told every day at work, like we've been sticking to 2-meter procedure, we've got to. So I know what's been going on. If, let's say, for example, you have to wear a protection mask going to public transport, so otherwise you'll face a fine, I think, in my opinion, that is a bit more of an accurate than not accurate. So in a way, what I'm saying is, something might be true, but something might be bullshit. So something like, you probably get a fine, I think that's bullshit, but you have to wear a mask every time you go to a public transport, because then it makes people a bit more relaxed to go to different public transports and actually not get overwhelmed with anxiety or depression or anything like that. Like with this mental health situation, it's very clinical that it's really important to make sure people are not stressing out, not getting anxious with this whole procedure still going around. And considering that people are furloughed, if people have mental health and they're furloughed, you can understand that their mindset is going skyrocket. Like they're very worried, they're getting really anxious, they're getting really depressed, and it fucking sucks that it's happening to them. So the last thing you want is go to public transport or go anywhere and people are not doing what they've been told to do. Like, I get frustrated about it because I work in the key worker position, as people call it, key worker. I don't know why people call it a key worker. We're just a low-class working position, really. If we was really key workers, we should really be a bit more recognition, a bit more important than the office workers or anything that are actually at home, being at home safe and working in their own home, in their own comfort for the last 2-3 months, where we're actually risking our lives and actually going out, getting shit money for it. And yeah, that's my opinion on that, But I don't know how you feel about it, considering, as you mentioned before we head on live, that you work in McDonald's or Mackie D's, as people call it. It's still the same thing that you go and work there, you're risking your life like I do, and we're getting exposed. We're not getting much credibility out of it. We're not getting much money out of it where we should be in some way. Just to be sure that we have got something just to keep, just in case if anything gets risky, like we could be sick at home, so we have to stay at home and we can't get sick pay. Oh, look, we got a high pay rise and that covers it, instead of trying to get the sick payment where you might not be entitled for it.
I mean, like with McDonald's, it's not been too bad recently because we're only doing drive-through. So it's not like we've got any customers coming in to the store. So like the only people inside the store are the workers, and we've staffed it so every position has one person doing it.
Yeah.
So it's running really efficiently, and it's like, I mean, speaking for my store that I work at, like specifically, but everything is done really well and quite precise and down to like a T. Yeah. The only time that there's ever an issue is if I don't know, like, people still end up getting on top of each other. Social distancing is really hard to follow sometimes in a kitchen, which it's going to be difficult in a lot of places.
Yeah,
I think, to do that, not just in food, but in a lot of places. But yeah, we've got to wear masks. We've got to make sure everything's clean and sanitary. You've got to wash your hands every half an hour. Like, there's a lot of things that, like, you've just got to stick to it and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it quite well since we've come back. So on the plus side, I'm getting more hours than I did beforehand. So
that's definitely what you need, isn't it? You definitely need more hours, and you'd be more keen to get back to work after being like furloughed for like 2-3 months, for example, where you'd be eager to going back to work instead of be like, oh, this is terrible, I don't want to be here now. You know, I need a long vacation. Like, I need a long vacation, but it's not going to happen because we still need to support the nation, and we still need to give people the satisfaction of we need to work our ass off and just fucking go straight to the ground and just suffer, really. Where, we still get like holiday time period off, but we can't take like a whole 4 months of it, like 3-4 weeks of it, because that adds on to your contract of how long you can have holiday for. And if you use all of it in one go, then you're not going to get any more time off. You have to wait till next year, where if the financial comes into play. But yeah, it is disappointing that we have to come to this position that is really, really difficult to keep doing what you've been doing. But there's some people out there that don't keep the procedure. They don't want to stick to it. They want to, you know, try in some way kick off and think it's not necessary, where, oh, this is bullshit, this is fake, this is whatever. You can see many people are dying. How do you think this is fake, for example? You can't say that. In some way, I do see that there is a little bit of scandal where not all of it's going to be cased by the coronavirus. I think some of it's more of like, let's say you have a heart attack. Oh, and let's just put it as corona. Oh, you got like a post trauma issue. I would put that as corona as well. You know, it's stuff like that. I think it's trying to panic people, and I get that. You want to put a bit of panic into people to try and keep it like, if you don't stick to what you've been told, this is going to happen to you. And I get that. I really do. But in some way, you need to be legit and need to be honest with the report scandals, instead of just being like, oh, we're going to fake it most of the time, and just say, instead of like, I don't know, 10,000 people have passed on from the coronavirus, we put it up to 50,000, where most of it's not legit, you know. But unfortunately, we're in a situation where we have to do what we got to do, like I just said. And yeah, it does suck, but we have to keep on what we got to do, you know.
Hopefully it'll be over in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Or at least start on the decline.
Well, touch wood that it does happen, you know, because most of us will be wanting to go back to our normal lives and actually do what we love to do, actually go to music events or go to art exhibitions or go to museums or go to dates. It's just stuff like that that we actually miss doing, and it's actually it's basically the daily routine sessions that you normally do, instead of just worrying yourself in your mind that you have this virus going in the back of your mind and saying to yourself, well, we're not going to have our daily social activities until this whole thing get out of the way. But I don't know, it just seems to me that we're likely to get back to normal next year and then this year, the rest of this year, because in a way people have been predicting it, like we've been predicting it before this whole thing actually started. At one time I said things will get back to normal by August, and that happened in maybe February or March time. but nobody knew how the impact was going to hit. Nobody knew how big it was going to be. And then people overestimated it some way and actually said, this is not going to happen. We're going to have to wait till maybe like fall or maybe the end of winter to say this is better estimation. I don't know how you feel about it. Like, I'm sure that, as I said, probably next year is going to be the best thing for me to say this is the right time. If people stick to what they've been doing and keeping themselves distant away from other people and making sure they do what they've been told to do. Do you think that's likely to happen in winter, or do you think it's going to happen a bit more sooner?
I mean, yeah, it looks like everything's going to go back to normal. If it does go back to normal this year, I can see it being around November.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it's probably just going to be next year.
Yeah.
At this rate. Like, I mean, my biggest fear at the moment is that it keeps going and still is an issue into next year. Because obviously, you know, we want to be able to get over to the States and do this show and whatnot. We don't want this to, like, become an issue.
No, I do see. Not just music events, but anything, like in general. Like, I was supposed to get Death East Open in 2 months.
So was I.
And the thing is, flights are still not happening yet because they're still banned. I suppose I did see one plane keep going through every day, and I don't know why, but I know our country is still banned from flying at the moment. But let's just say, if things do get back to normal by summer period, it's too soon. But I don't know why, in some way, our government is saying, let's just try and restrict things, lower it bit by bit, when it's just not the right time. This is all too soon.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going with the flow of it. And hoping that everything goes back to normal soon. Yeah,
I understand. I think pretty much this has all been said. Like, we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
So what I like to do at the end of the podcast before we finish is basically do mention opportunities for companies, bands, promoters that deserve recognition under the podcast scenery that I do. It could be anything that you can mention. You can mention to your other band projects that you do, or the clothing companies that you do with your merchandise. It could be promoters that you work with previously or currently with when it comes to shows. It could be anything. So I'll give you the platform and the opportunity, because I don't really have much of opportunities to say anything. Like, I haven't really got much recognition at the moment for any bands. So if anybody that has not mentioned to me about, oh, you should have done this band and you should have done that band, give me a message and I'll definitely mention them in the next sessions, because it would be a good idea, because really my mind's gone blank when it comes to recommendations.
I mean, there's so many bands out there at the moment that have just emerged over the past couple of years.
Some of them don't get recognition and some of them do, you know. Some of them that we listen to, they don't need the recognition because they're already big enough. But when it comes to smaller bands like, what's it called? Point is, there's some small ones that they don't get mentioned, and this is our shining time where we can actually mention it, you know. So I definitely will give you the first opportunity to recommend anything when it comes to bands or promoters or merchandise companies that, like Pin and Knuckles, for example, or just like soft or media platforms like Bandcamp, if you want to do like digital merchandise, something like that in general.
I mean, yeah, going to like bands and stuff. I mean, like Cranial Discharge are doing absolutely fantastic for themselves. Unfortunately, since the last album dropped, they haven't really had much else going on, and I don't think that album got as much recognition as it deserved. Unfortunately, because it's a fantastic album, fantastic band, great friends. I mean, Septic Congestion. They're a fantastic band. Playing a show. We're playing Eradication Deathfest next year with them on, I want to say the same day. They might be playing the Saturday, and I think we're playing the Sunday.
Okay.
But they're absolutely sick. That's Jack, the current vocalist, Cranium's other band. And he's a fucking sound-ass lad. Promoter-wise, Joe Mortimer, unfortunately having to cancel UK Slamfest and the rest of the team doing that.
Yeah.
That was a big hit. That was a fantastic show, an amazing lineup, which I can't wait to see what he does for next year.
Yeah.
He always knocks it out of the park with UK Slamfest, and he's fantastic at what he does.
Absolutely.
Hopefully next year there'll be a couple of decent shows on that I'm trying to put on. I want to try and get Carnifloor into the UK again.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because I know he did a tour a while back, and Floor mastered our EP.
Really nice.
So I've been talking to him quite a bit. He's like the loveliest dude, as you'll know from your interview with him. He's absolutely sound as.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But I'm trying to think of other people to shout out. I mean, like what Dano from Merch Lord. He's absolutely fantastic. He's just started his own clothing line.
Nice.
I mean, it's not personally my kind of thing, but it's him down to a T, and he'll fucking smash it because he always does. He's great at that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so that'll be good.
I know that Fat Top of Lord and like Brutal Mind are definitely more decent when it comes to brutal death metal merchandise. That people should just purchase some stuff. I know it's from overseas, and I know people say, "Oh, it's too long to wait," but they actually do good service, and actually they live up to people's expectations so much.
I mean, apart from like the odd T-shirt that I've got that are from gigs, like my entire wardrobe and like hoodies and that, it's all Brutal Mind. It's all Fat Tub of Lard. Larry Wang does a fantastic job with Fat Tub. Denny does an amazing job with Brutal Mind. I mean, Brutal Mind printed the shorts that we've got.
Nice.
And they do loads of different band merch opportunities if you want to go print through them.
Yeah.
And they do it for a fantastic price as well.
They do.
Especially on like the more obscure bits of merch, like doing joggers and shorts and so on and so forth. They do it.
It's really
great.
Good. It does. It has that variety of clothing ideas, so it's really good. I definitely like it. I wouldn't go for like band socks or anything like that because I prefer black socks. But no, but it's for people in general that actually want to have something like that. It's there, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I thought the socks, when I saw them on Fat Tub of Lard, I thought that was like the greatest hilarious bit of band merch that you can get in the world.
Definitely.
Because apart from my shoes, I'm pretty sure everything I wear is band merch. So like if I could get some of the socks, then I actually would be on my way to getting like all band merch.
You just need some shoes, that's what it is.
I mean, I keep seeing the Slipknot print, like Converse or something like that. I think they're horrible.
That does not count.
They look awful, but it's still band merch.
Yeah, that's true, but I think it doesn't count. It's not brutal death metal merch.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see if Converse wants to sponsor Coprocephalic Mutation and we can get our own out there.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Do it. That would work. Or just guess, or like clothing companies like, I would say Adidas, but they're too fucking bullshit. They're just shit. Adidas, really. But
I see a lot of Slam fans in Adidas.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know why there are a lot of people wearing Adidas clothing now. It doesn't make any sense. I know I had the vintage stuff years ago, and I get that. But I don't know why on earth they were mentioning about, I like to wear joggers or baggy clothes as like Adidas clothing. So it doesn't make any sense. I don't know if it's because it's cheap or is it just because it's a style. I don't get it.
Oh no, I mean I don't mind the jumpsuits or anything. I mean like I wouldn't personally own any of it, but I think it looks alright.
I definitely will not touch it with a bar pole. That's for sure. No way. It's not my style. I know
If
people
it doesn't
like
have
it.
an unreadable logo on it, I won't own it.
No, if it's not real, I'll not buy it. That's plain and simple. But yeah, if there isn't any much recommendations left from you, then there isn't really much from me. Like I'll mention like Ingested. They've got like a new album coming out in August. To be fair, there was some stuff coming out from Reality Fade Records. They have
they've been smashing it recently.
They have been.
Like Reality Fade's been smashing it.
Yeah, they've got good bands. Albums going to be coming out soon. Visions of Disfigurement's already got their album out. It's a really good album.
Amazing.
Definitely listen to it if you have not done it yet. Cranial Contamination just released an album artwork, and the album's going to be coming out probably in August. I'm predicting that because it's likely to happen.
I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, definitely. Carnifloor's album's coming out in June. So that's going to be sick. Catalapsly is a really good. I don't know what was the single like to you, but I thought it was a little bit. It was kind of like average, but I'll be open to listen to it. The full album.
I mean, I like a lot of early Catalepsy, but I haven't really got into them much recently.
I mean,
I haven't really heard the last single, so I can't really comment on it.
It was okay, but it was not like the previous albums they've done. So it was a bit odd, but I'm sure you might like it, you may not like it, I don't know.
See, I think they went a little bit of the way of Carnal Decay. Like another fantastic band, but they went a bit more like it's their sound to me personally went a bit more hardcore influenced than it did when they were like strictly brutal death metal.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the way I see it. But each band's got their own way of doing things, I suppose.
Yeah.
Stillbirth needs another recommendation. They got their album coming out in August. Obviously, I said Ingester's album's coming out in August. Psychotoxin has got their pre-orders coming out soon. They've just released an idea of what's going to be releasing. So it's kind of like a bundle. An Alderman package is going to be out as a pre-order. But that's coming out in August as well, a couple of days before my 29th birthday. Yeah, honestly, there isn't really much to mention. Disgorge, a really good band. They definitely need to be listened if you have not heard of them before. Like She Lay Gutted, it's a really fucking solid album. It's the best album they've done.
Anything by Mexican Disgorge as well.
A Mexican Disgorge is really good. It's really good. I think it was their first album I really liked listening to, and it was really, really brutal. Yeah, I think it's not really else to recommendation apart from extermination, dismemberment, cerebral implication.
Two other quick ones from me, both related to the biggest, sickest lad ever, Luke Talbot. Valinemia.
Yeah,
they're absolutely smashing it. They've got an album coming at some point soon, I think. And if you didn't manage to pick up one of their t-shirts previously, I'm pretty sure they've got more coming out through Merch Lord at some point. They were absolutely fantastic. Heather and Luke smashed it with that. And his other band, Liquified Remains, has got some new stuff coming out, which everyone really just needs to, like, just be ready for. I've heard a couple of snippets, and it's absolutely sick.
Nice.
So I cannot wait for that.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think this is pretty much going to be it. I really am pleased that you came. It was really great to have you on.
It was great to be on.
Yeah, I'm more happy to have you on here, man. You know, we'll have a catch-up session next time. No, when this whole thing gets out of the way, we'll have a sit-down chat and see how things have been going through since
Yeah,
this
man.
whole virus has been gone and dusted, you know. But yeah, if anybody's that's been listening to it, thank you very much for staying in tune. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if you did not notice on my Facebook account that the interview with Travis and Andy from Splattered was rescheduled to this Saturday because some situations just happened. So it's all good. It's been rescheduled, so it's going through this Saturday. So I'm doing a double duty on Saturday, so that'll be nice. Other than that, if you've got anything else to say, Sam, feel free to say it before I end this podcast.
Buy our merch so we can afford to go to the US next year.
There we go. That's the best thing to do. Definitely a big plug-in, that's for sure. Yeah, so thank you very much, Sam. Thank you to everybody that's paid attention to this video. Subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's completely fine. If you want to follow my Facebook personal account on the Joshua Fast Podcast Facebook account, that's completely fine. If not, that's fine as well. Be ready for Thursday because Extermination, Dismemberment, Vocalist Vlad is going to be on here. It's going to be very interesting. I will be looking forward to it. Other than that, please look after yourselves. Keep your hands clean. And if you don't, you're a dirty fucker. Other than that, stay safe, everyone. All right? Take care.